Welcome, everybody. Well, we are truly making progress. We are on day 31 of our 49-day count. And after today, we will have 18 days left of the counting of the Omer. So on our journey from Passover to Shavuot, from our release from slavery, all the way through to from redemption to revelation, we are 18 days away from that, and that is high. So we have the Yud, and we have the Chet, and we have life, and we have God guiding us in our journey, or our own spiritual quest as we go forward, looking at the emotional attributes of the Sefirot and how they apply to our lives and how we can perfect our own being, thereby perfecting our relationships and our world as well. So today we're going to look at Tiferet of Hod, compassion or beauty in humility. In order to have compassion and humility, we need to connect to the beauty that is within us and surrounding us. In order to truly connect to beauty, especially the beauty and the compassion of Tiferet, we need to be able to simplify. And when we simplify, we connect to Hod and the humility that we have within our own being. Leo Babauta said, simplicity boils down to two steps. Identify the essential, eliminate the rest. So let's do this again. Simplicity, because this is what we're going to be talking about, boils down to two steps. Identify the essential, eliminate the rest. We have all been forced to get back to what's most essential with this pandemic. It's even been determined for us as businesses and other establishments have been deemed essential or non-essential. As we have gone through these past weeks, looking at ourselves and delving into how the emotional attributes of the Sefirot play out in our lives, recurring themes seem to flow in and out of our dialogue. However, this particular concept is new. It's cut out the extraneous that we have in our lives and simplify. Just get rid of the rest. As hand sanitizer, toilet paper, and other household necessities have become scarce, we have gotten a real gut check on what's truly important, what we really need, and actually what we could live without. As it turns out, when humbled and stripped down to our very core, we don't need much. Mostly, what we need is our family. We need our health. Everything else sort of enters back in slowly. Everything else takes a back seat and then come back in. But we do need our health, and we do need our family. Gro Harlem Brundtland said, more than ever before, there is a global understanding that long-term social, economic, and environmental development would be impossible without healthy families, communities, and countries. Well, yes, we are really getting a lesson in that. The entire planet has been affected. Globally, all of us is one collective humanity. The only way that any of us is going to be able to go forward is by doing it together. Even though we're socially distant, we have to do it together. Everybody needs to take care of themselves first, then their family, their immediate household, and then billowing out. We can start with our own secular family unit, but then that affects our communities, and guess what? It in turn affects our countries, our world. Without being humbled, we might not have all experienced this collective diluting of ego and excessive need. Our needs have become more unified and essential. It's shifted to masks and cleaning supplies and healthcare and appropriate testing. Life has been stripped down to its very core essence. We've been ordered to stay home. Supplies have been limited. So what we want, what we need, and what we can get by without has been starkly and very severely identified, whether we like it or not. We need to seriously take a look and get a clue and get in touch, because we have, as one global humanity, identified what is essential, and guess what? Eliminated the rest. And if we couldn't do it for ourselves, it is being done for us. Henry David Thoreau is quoted as saying, a man, we can say a woman too, is rich in proportion to the number of things he can afford to let alone. Well, we have been given time to determine where our riches truly lie. The real question is what's going to happen as we return to life. It's not going to be how we once knew it. What it will be will depend on us. What we have learned while in this captivity about each other, ourselves, staying safe, and what's truly important, what is truly essential. And then, how far are we willing to go to protect what we've learned? Was it long enough to become a new habit? Time and statistics will tell. And the really sad thing is that the statistics involve real people, loved ones who can become sick and lost to us forever on this earth plane. If that isn't humbling, then what is? Tiferet, beauty and compassion. Hod is humility. Let us be mindful of what is truly important, what is truly essential, able to see the beauty that's around us and have the compassion to support and to continue to fight for it. May the humility that we have known in these past few months serve us well, so that what is essential will stick, and then we can truly get rid of the rest. It's not going to serve us anymore. Ask yourself, what have you experienced differently during this pandemic? How has it humbled you? What was important to you before the pandemic that is actually less important to you now? What have you learned that you'd like to carry forward about yourself and about others? And how has your humility in this situation changed you? Are you more humble? Have you been humbled? What habits have you acquired and what have you gotten rid of? In your humility, have you actually ever felt maybe a little awkward, a little uncomfortable? Were you on the receiving end of needing other people's compassion? And how did that feel for you? Was it unsettling? Was it unusual? Was it a new experience? Or were you more compassionate of others, shopping, calling, extending yourself more than you might have done in the past or in new ways, doing something for somebody that they couldn't actually do for themselves? Beauty is born from compassionate deeds, loving gestures when we reach out and truly help one another, with humility guiding us, not ego, not arrogance or superiority, just pure compassion. That is when Tiferet is at its best and most brilliant, shining beauty and light in the purest of form toward all humanity, when we're actually at our most humble. Humanity begets compassion and vice versa. So we can be compassionate, and then we're going to be able to have an expanded sense of our own humility, which will go forth into our humanity, and it'll go round and around and around. Some words that I wanted to share with you that are actually a mixture from Mina Om and Pranam are: compassion is something to be ignited. One is not born with compassion. What one is born with is love, humility, among other emotions. And think about it. Those emotions, what are they? The emotional attributes that come from our Sefirot. So when a child asks their mother, "Mom, can I go out to play?" he or she shows humility that they are born with. When you go and ask your neighbors, "Can I get you something? Are you comfortable? Is everything okay?" you are showing concern for them. When you are polite and you offer somebody a seat, whether it's an elderly person or a pregnant woman or somebody that's maybe disabled, you are showing consideration and reverence for them. Feelings of concern, consideration, and reverence all are aspects of humility. It is this which in turn blossoms into true compassion. Only when you are humble towards others, only when you understand them and truly appreciate them, are reverential towards them, that you can be truly compassionate towards others. That's how your compassion is going to be exemplified and shared. Humility is like the basic emotion of love or anger. Instead of nurturing this emotion of humility, we actually kill it with our ego and our pride. And then the surrounding environment also takes its toll. One can ignite compassion by being purely humble inside. Otherwise, one's compassion is only a game of show, and it only boosts one's ego. Saying things like, or feeling things like, "I'm full of compassion for others. I really help others all the time." Or, "You know what? I always give to the poor and to the needy and to the less fortunate." Such thoughts will arise only to strengthen the ego. Without true inner humility, one's compassion is not true compassion. Compassion flows from a person who is truly humble, who has concern, consideration, and reverence for all things around. Compassion will be ignited when this happens. So there's a saying, the more simple we are, the more complete we become. Our compassion, born of simplicity and fed by our humility, will be what truly sets us free, enabling us to rise above all that currently ails us. Completion will only come when we are wholly compassionate as one collective humanity, each to the other. Humility, compassion, purity of heart, that's what's going to get us there if we align ourselves with all of it. We all have the ability because it actually resides within us. We just have to tune out the noise, the chaos, and choose to simplify. This is what we've been talking about all these weeks. Choose what is essential. This is what we're talking about today, and then get rid of the rest. Alfred Lord Tennyson, in his poem Sir Galahad, said, "My strength is as the strength of 10 because my heart is pure." It's going to take purity of heart, simplicity, a return to what's essential, and the ability to be strong enough to persevere with humility to get us all out of this mess. The only way out is through. For today, let Tiferet of Hod lead the way. Tune in tomorrow for our next attribute in the path of our personal and collective ascension. See you then.